Whatever city, town, or county you live in, Canada is an incredible place to be. I can say without doubt that I am a proud Canadian. I have been privileged to be born in a land that's glorious and free. The Canadians that make Canada a great country come from every tribe and nation. Red and yellow, black and white. We are all precious in God's sight. After all, what color is a soul? Not only is our land free, but as Canadians, we live free as well. People come from far and wide to visit our homeland. Some decide to stay, and many give up much to do so. Many people who come to Canada have left families in their homeland who are struggling and live in poverty. In Canada, some immigrants work several jobs to care not only for themselves, but also to provide for their loved ones back in their native land. They work hard to see their dreams come true, which might be to help bring their next generation to a place of opportunity. A number of immigrants to our land have left careers and high positions to take menial jobs, with hopes to see their family and their grandchildren live a better life in a land of true freedom. A close friend of mine works with English second language immigrants. He has shared numerous stories with me of sacrifice and hardship that immigrants have endured for their dreams of having a better life in this land of the free. This is one of those stories. My friend was on a business trip out west. When he arrived at his hotel, his room wasn't ready. The short, stocky, well-dressed manager of the establishment was rude and impatient with his employees. It was the height of vacation season, and dollar signs had replaced his eyes. He wanted the rooms ready in a hurry. It was obvious that his small staff already had their hands full. His first inappropriate comment to my friend was about foreigners working in our country and not knowing the language fully. "We're expected to hire them," he said, "and they should be able to communicate properly." His tone was so condescending that my friend had to practice self-control to hold his own tongue from retaliating. The manager's blood pressure rose to a new level as he motioned frantically for a woman to scamper and get those rooms prepared immediately. My friend felt embarrassed for the worker and ashamed of the manager's behavior towards her. As the maid scurried to go finish the rooms, she turned and my friend recognized her. She was a person he had helped back in his hometown when she first moved to Canada. My friend warmly greeted the maid and asked her how she was doing. My friend had booked several rooms and suites with this hotel. Still, the manager's body language and facial expressions clearly painted a picture that he didn't agree with fraternizing, especially with Molly the maid. My friend ignored the manager and asked the maid if she was working towards her Canadian university degree. He told her it was such a shame that she could not yet practice her profession here in Canada. He continued, "It must be frustrating for you to see a need and have the ability to fill it, yet not be able to practice it in our country." She had moved to Canada and given up her career. She believed our country was a better atmosphere for her children to grow up in. This employee was a conscientious worker and cut our conversation short. Her priority was to finish getting the rooms ready. My friend then took the opportunity to tell the manager how intelligent and brilliant many of his foreign workers were. He informed him that probably a lot of his foreign staff were previous business owners or lawyers. He also informed him that many of them could read and write English exceptionally well. Their difficulties came in speaking and pronouncing some of our English words. You could tell by the manager's impatient look that he was practicing tolerance, but only because my friend was a paying customer. And at first chance, he left my friend standing with the desk clerk as he went raving down the hall, clutching his chest and waving his hands at one of the busboys. His attitude still needed a major adjustment. The clerk behind the desk remarked, if he wasn't careful, he could have a heart attack at any moment. The ironic thing about all this is, suppose that was to happen. The person most qualified to save his life was the doctor, who was at that moment Molly the maid, making beds in his hotel. This is Lynda Lewis, and in telling this story, I hope we as Canadians will remember to never look down on anyone unless we're helping them up.